Eve from MarketWizard.com and eMoneyWizard.com, reminding traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose. And it is just after 10 o'clock. Friday, the 18th of December, 2020. All right, a couple of things we want to talk about. One of them is the idea of news, and you have to work around news. So 10 o'clock news, that's one of the reasons why I thought it would be a quick scalp where traders taking off some profits, obviously in a zone, but also ahead of news. So those are important ideas. And when you have a solid trade like this, usually you're going to get a bounce, but you're also going to get a retest of it. And that's the one that is not necessarily a safer buy, but more likely to stick a little bit because the gap was closed and we're closer to the support level. A reminder, using this system, the E-mini tends to use the lower levels for support and the higher levels for resistance, and the stocks will tend to adhere to right inside this first level of support and the first resistance that was at 25 we talked about up here. So what I want to show you is how we can make the adjustment and why I made this adjustment today, knowing that we could get down here, but because I can also see the next levels, I chose to use the up column instead of the current column because we had already gone over the top of this 20. But I'm still mindful that that is our resistance zone. That's why I said this would be our resistance zone, this 20 to 25. And I know that the 30 is up there available, but still, this is in the up column. So, well, maybe we better think, can we test that 12 to 11 area? So I'm just showing you how mentally I made that adjustment. But because I've got the spreadsheets, I'm aware of these numbers in both of these columns. And I said, all right, well, we can use this because that's still going to put us here. So now if you want to go back and say, all right, let's change this to the current column, we can do that. But we still know you've got to get by 91.5, according to this system, to get down here. So it gives me plenty of time, gives me this whole range down here that I don't really have to worry about. And I just know that that 11 is the significant pivot. And once we break, then we're triggering testing for support. So that's an important idea that I wanted to share with you of why I did that this morning. And yet I can still see enough field of vision, including if they jacked it up here. That was as important in my thinking, was to be able to read this. So once we get back down here, it's much more um, in favor of the long side, as it were. And yet we know that this can still come down. We know that was our support, still is. So even if I don't have this set up, I can still read it off my spreadsheet. So now let's just go do that as one more drill. Anybody that is buying the 92 as 91 as support, think of it as a retest. And let's just do that so you guys have the complete picture of how we can change that and put that where we want it. So now I'm going to go back here, and instead of using, let me see if I've got the right one. Yes. So now I'm going to use 3671.88, which is what I had earlier, the current. But since it was off the top already, it made sense to adjust. And now I'm going back to what it should be for the day. And I'm saying 3710.94. And that's the beauty of this system. This overrides our emotions. And now you can get a look at what the current frame was supposed to be. Make sure you get paid by 96.41. And if you trigger below that, then anything comes down here. So this now shows, obviously, as our support pivot as we expect. And now we can say, okay, this is should be our support zone. You know, I get about 2 people that watch what I post on Twitter and whatever, and they only knew how valuable this stuff was. Would change their trading. Day after day, you've seen this stuff work. You have to interpret it, you know, like, okay, Mike Tyson, be careful. And then you got to do things like remember those gaps. You know, I spend at least a half an hour pre-market figuring out what I want to talk to you guys about, what I want to do, because that's my normal routine anyways. What am I thinking? I review all of these charts and these ideas, and then I try to put it into a little, lesson plan. This, okay, let's talk about this today. This is one of the most important lessons I just gave you, and now you can understand what I was saying on the current. Okay, just up here, these tails, still using that for our resistance. And if we get lucky, we'll take out this '06. Whoa, got lucky. Whoa, next step, target. See if we can get to that 98. Whoa, little bounce back, retest, the gap is there. And so you should be in charge of all of these ideas if you really want to be a trader, not just one or two of them. And you put them all together and then you get yourself a little bit of an idea. So here was that gap. Said I thought they were head hunting. So anybody that's come down and got the gap, again, you don't have to do anything. But this was part of today's thinking, was that was available, especially because of options expiration. Well, let's just wrap this video up with today's A and D. So go here to the fifth one, set it up, 18, set it up, 18. Now your angels and demons are set. Once we got stalled at yesterday's high, that was the first clue that these guys were just using that 20 zone for resistance. So we got what we wanted, which was target 20 to 22. Above that, good fortune. And this is a profit-taking swing. And this power chart that we have been using, look how we've come back into this blue line. 120-minute chart, I said, has been in play. But you can see how stretched we were too. So R1 works. 95's primary target, the gap area. Anything below that, the good fortune. And usually on this type of move, you can bleed through it, but then come back up. It takes time. So now these other lines will be in play. You got to get them back up above those for continuation. So best odds for shorts are done. There will be no other short today that will have the same impact. Even if we go 50 points lower, the best trades are done because of the least amount of risk up here. And that's the emotional part of this business. I keep saying the trades you don't want are the ones that usually will work pretty well. It's emotional business. And probably not one trader in 100 was thinking we'll close this gap today. And yet yesterday when Kyle and I were talking, I said, no, I like that 95 idea better, really. And you try to teach yourself to think contrarian. Lock profits. Do not think you have to trade again today. If you have had yourself a good morning already, lock it, relax. All right, we'll do a couple more videos before we're done. But I wanted to just show that sequence. And we had target 93s as target 2. Daily predictive, a dream. You've got to get it above 08s. And we know that this is going to keep pressing on us here. So current middle is 05s. We're using 12 as resistance. And we said if you got to 92s, be happy. Anything below that is absolute gift. And so for now, we've got this rotation probably with this prior low, 92s. So this is the battlefield clearly, these 3 boxes right now. 1, 2, 3. Long's got to get it back up above the 02s. And then retest that 05, 06. So this is also part of the rollover schematic too, this kind of stuff. And now we're into the fight. Still made a higher high than we had. So can't be super bearish. It's a profit taking swing. That's all I'm thinking.